It was almost like he was a preacher here, and she was just one of the what do you call those people?
Congregation.
Yeah, they're like, I want to travel more.
You're doing a black church. Yeah.
I want to get a dog.
Do you want to have a white picket fence? I feel like he hasn't put a race on it. You put the race on it.
Yeah,
We're just doing
He
church.
hasn't put a race on it.
I have a gravelly voice, dude. I've been drinking all day.
Hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of another Bachelor podcast. My name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
Patrick, the producer's behind the glass over there.
Woohoo!
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Hometowns, baby. This is it. This is a very structured show. We look forward to this episode every year. If you were offended by the term filthy, yucky normies, turn it off now, because we see a ton of them, mainly in Alabama, but we'll get there. Guys, before we jump into it, remember, hop in those ratings and reviews. Leave 5 stars. You don't need to write words. You don't need to sign up for an account. Just hit that 5th star and walk away, or just put the phone in your pocket. Find us on Instagram where?
Another Bachelor podcast.
And we've got just a super, super active Facebook group filled with baby birdies who find hot tea and content. Where do they find that group?
Facebook.com/group/Another Bachelor podcast. But it's easier just to search Another Bachelor podcast on Facebook.
I also want to let you guys know about our Patreon. Now, we don't talk about our Patreon often. If you want to go and sign up there, have fun, feel free to do it. But I do want to let you guys know that we just put up what is akin to like a Citizen Kane, a Godfather 1 or 2. It is an opus. So we got an inversion table at the office, at the studio, and that's, like the one that Christian Bale hung down on American Psycho. Like, it stretches your spine out a little bit.
And to go back for some of our older listeners, it's what Richard Gere in American Gigolo would use to work out before he'd go have sex with women for money.
Maybe I'm conflating the two.
Gere has played a sex worker and a John?
Yes, sir. He has.
Wow.
1980 film American Gigolo. Mm-hmm.
That'd be a short episode of Film Vault. Really inside joke there.
So anyways, we did get an inversion table at this here office. Now, I challenged Nick that he could not hang for 15 minutes. And he, in fact, did. We recorded the entire thing. We got into a lot of personal stuff with Nick, his dating past, his favorite films, his travel destinations. And then we fed him cheese for about 3 minutes. And it is, I'm telling you, it is one of the greatest things that humans have ever created. So if you want to see that, it's exclusive to Patreon members only. Let's get into the show. Hometowns. We've got a lot of screams, a lot of really cool haircuts, and as I said, filthy, yucky normies. We start with a couple of really great scenes of Colton getting ready to go on his voyage. And we've got another shower scene, which puts this at, I don't know the exact number, it's a gratuitous amount of shower
Every
scenes.
episode, at least twice. Hey, you know what?
I don't think that's right. But.
Hold on. The Bachelor producers or editors, they know no one's into this. No chicks watching this going, this is hot. And then the dudes that are told they have to watch this with their wives or girlfriends also hate it as well as with the blogs. What I feel they're doing here is, do you guys remember the original Star Wars prequels George Lucas created? Jar Jar Binks was a much hated character in The Phantom Menace.
If we remember Jar Jar Binks?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing I know out of any Star Wars.
Remember Jar Jar Binks.
Everyone hated him, but he put him in the sequel. And in the first scene, they have Jar Jar Binks break the fourth wall, stare at the audience at the camera, and then walk off. And he was saying, hey, I'm still here. I know you hate me.
So where are you going?
Oh, that's what the editors of this goddamn show are doing. They know we hate this.
Okay, so I would not hate this if we had a good-looking male in there, okay? As we've talked about, Colton's fat. He's overweight, bordering obese, and also shave your fucking chest. Okay, You're the Bachelor. I get it. I have chest hair, but I am
Not The Bachelor.
I am not The Bachelor, okay? Wax that shit off. Let's have clean nips if we're going to have gratuitous shower scenes. You're looking at me like I'm a maniac.
I just have to disagree with you both fully. I think the women are loving it, and though I've been saying Colton's fat all season, or have they been starving him the last week? Because I thought he looked pretty good in this scene. Although, here's a scoop for you guys, and I have nothing to confirm it. But somewhere on the internet, I saw that they had one day that was only filming shower scenes of Colton. And
That's
like
clearly an Onion article.
it wasn't a joke. It wasn't a joke.
It's 100%
This was being presented as fact. And as we talked about last week, I'm very quick to, we all are very quick to believe anything we read on the internet. So I believe this to be true. So I do think it's intentional, at least. I will say that, Patrick, by Bachelor production.
I have a feeling that we're going to, we're on a crash course collision with an errors and omissions segment for next week. But you remind me that this episode, guys, we've said we're going to do it every single pod, and we just haven't had the time to fit it in. In this room, on a piece of white American paper, is Nick's
11 by 8.5, baby.
Nick's magnificent, long overdue errors and omissions, which we promise we will get to at the end of this episode. But right now we got to move on. We head to Virginia, which to a lot of people is different than North Carolina, which is the state where she...
It's also different than South Carolina, which is the state that she was Miss South Carolina.
Oh, it was South Carolina?
Yes.
Was she winner or was she runner-up?
Runner-up. Remember, she lost to that Machiavelli
Right.
that we'll also get to later. I'm going to pigeonhole that into errors and omissions, even though it's not.
Funny pun, because I think that came from a baby bird. You said pigeonhole. Anyways, Pat, how was the leg wrap around?
Okay, yeah. So we get a full leg wrap around, a run up. Yeah. I will judge all the leg wrap arounds throughout the episode.
Well, judge this one. Was it okay?
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, it was a full jump. It was he accepted the jump, and then you got the full leg wrap around.
Yeah. Well, good. He and Kaylin, which, by the way, Microsoft Word, Pages, whatever processor you're using to type these notes, has no fucking idea what to do with her name. It's a red line, no suggestions.
Google
every
Docs.
time. Google Docs? Mm-hmm. Do you have problems with it?
Oh, yeah. It always tells me spell check. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you were saying?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't mess it up. Caellynn.
You're very good at spelling. Anyways, they spend the day in a quaint little town, not in South Carolina, but in Virginia. He absolutely lights up when he finds out that they're going to get ice cream.
Can I say with this, her being from South Carolina, or being from Virginia, Miss South Carolina, I think this was another thing the producers intentionally did, because right as she said her hometown name, it put on the bottom of the screen, Kaylin, Miss South Carolina. And I feel like it was just like a revelation to a lot of viewers who aren't as plugged in as the scoops on the internet as we are. People were like, what? That doesn't compute. And
somebody's done a tinfoil cap. I think
that's not that far-fetched.
I think that she's just said, I'm from Virginia numerous times this season. You have to be plugged in to realize.
Has she?
I think so.
I don't think so.
Maybe I'll end up smack dab in
I think they've just had
omissions.
it. Yeah, I just think they've had it on lower thirds.
Little known fact about beauty contests throughout the country is you actually don't have to establish residency in the location where you will be Miss whatever.
Yeah, clearly
in fact,
not.
many beauty contestants that would like to make it to Miss America find out different spots throughout the country where there are more ugly girls,
Right.
and they go there and beat the hell out of them.
What do you
beauty
think
contests.
is the probably the thinnest field in the country? What state?
Oh, Wyoming.
Wyoming. I was going to say one of the Dakotas, maybe. Nevada.
We're all in this. Nevada is because of the meth, but I think the Wyoming, the Dakotas, kind of those upper plains areas, I think that's really your sweet spot. You got low population to begin with.
Right.
Houses really far apart.
Inbreeding.
Breeds inbreeding.
Yeah.
Lots of potatoes.
Yeah. All really good points.
And corn the further you go east. So
Yeah. Which is, again, poison.
And getting back to the ice cream shop, because I'm quite the foodie, and just
No, you're not. But you don't know what uni is. You had never heard of uni 3 weeks ago. So do not call yourself a foodie.
Hey, test him. See if he still remembers.
I don't.
Oh,
You don't remember what uni is?
I remember me thinking it was short for unagi, like some type of fish that was but I don't remember what it actually was.
Okay, so you have a Yelp review for Carl's ice cream shop?
I do, in fact, have a Yelp review. I'm not a foodie, though. I'm glad you corrected that. That would have ended up in errors and omissions. I was just talking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
I do have a Yelp review of Carl's. It looked like a quaint place. She was really excited about it, but a lot of these hometown spots that people have nostalgia for could be complete shitholes, and we wouldn't even know. But anyways, my review comes from Marla T, and she's done 615 Yelp reviews.
Okay, so she's elite.
She's
hands down elite.
Already in 19.
Yeah.
She's down in that elite badge.
Yeah.
And she gives 3 stars.
Okay.
oh man.
3 stars.
That's how that's a review of a professional Yelper.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fun to pick out the 1 stars.
Right.
But I wanted to get a genuine review of Carl's from someone who's serious.
Yeah.
I begin. Let me just say, being a conehead, I love soft serve ice cream.
Stop 1 sec. What does that mean?
She's a conehead, baby.
What does she have an oblong skull?
Well, it's an ice cream place.
So she's just a fan of ice cream.
Yeah.
And that's called a conehead?
Yeah, apparently.
Not to be confused with one of the aliens portrayed by Dan Aykroyd on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
People that are enthusiasts, they like to give themselves a name. People that like to go around the country or different countries and test roller coasters are called rollies. So I guess it's a thing.
People who like My Little Ponies. My Little Ponies.
Okay.
Bros who love My Little Ponies are called bronies. It's a thing. It's a movement.
I saw the doc.
None of these can be a thing.
It is. Anyways, it takes 4 people to be a thing. And then you got to tweet about it. Anyways, here's the review. Let me just say, being a conehead, I love soft serve ice cream. I've been here several times. Personally, I think it's just okay. Yeah. Instead of a twist cone, swirling with chocolate and vanilla, they called it a mix cone. And put the vanilla on the bottom and the chocolate on the top. Yeah. A bit unusual. Oh, shit. I pictured my sad little cone, all lopsided and droopy. It would be nice to train the youngsters serving the cones to take their time and dispense a nicer looking treat. Their flavors were okay. I've had better. The serving sizes are small for the price. I know this place has lots of fans, but for me, it just fell flat.
This is why we need a war. This is why we need war.
To show us what is good and evil.
Because people are serving mixed cones instead of swirling it? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think he's saying we need to be pried from fucking atrophy. I think that's what he's saying.
We're losing it, man.
Yeah.
We're losing it.
That's my favorite Yelp review of all time.
That is so incredible. The sincerity and the fucking insanity that is attached to that review. Oh my God, that woman. I don't know who's crazier, her or the bread lady that we'll get to later. Jesus Christ. This country is terrifying. So anyways.
ABC's The Bachelor.
They sit down on a park bench, Kaylin and Colton, and have one of the most fucking vacant, empty conversations I've ever heard. Pat?
They're like, I'm ready to take the next step in the relationship, and always pushing the relationship and growing and moving forward, getting a dog, traveling together, having kids, starting a family.
That sounds perfect. That's like just everything that I want.
What a take. Like, you want a dog and to travel and to be, you want all 3 of those things?
And
Are you
kids.
fucking kidding me?
He's like, I just love to like not die in a fiery plane crash one day. She's like, oh my God, that's perfect. That's what I don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know, it was almost like he was a preacher here, and she was just one of the what do you call those people?
Congregation.
Yeah, they're like, I want to travel more.
You're doing
He's
a
like,
black
yes,
church. Yeah.
I want to get a dog.
Do you want to have a white picket fence? I feel like he hasn't put a race on it. You put the race on it.
Yeah,
We're just
man.
doing
He
church.
hasn't put a race on it.
I have a gravelly voice, dude. I've been drinking all day.
So she then, after they had this conversation, and Pat, I thought that you'd have a lot of thoughts about this.
Oh, don't ever say this to a girl unless you mean it, dude. What are you doing to her? You prick.
Oh, no. But that's not what I was referring to. I was referring to the fact that she tells him right before they're about to go meet her family that she does not have a father who's been around. And that she has a stepdad who's been raising her since the age of 4 or 5.
You know, that's kind of heavy, Dill. Although I would argue there was something heavier dropped on him earlier in the season on her behalf.
So anyways, we meet the family, mainly the barrel-chested stepdad, on a mission. He has to make sure that that Colton is right for her. And he does that initially by just lurking in the background of the family and staring very creepily at him from afar. What did you guys think of him for right out of the gates?
He's a little too into her life for a stepdad, in my opinion.
Okay.
He'd been in the picture since she was 4, so he is the guy who raised her.
Yeah.
And we have a very heartfelt a conversation between the two, not to get ahead of myself.
Yep.
I like him. I will say it's a little weird for me. It's just a little weird.
I think he seemed like a perfectly good father figure. I was just confused. She was like, "This is my dad. He's really he's my dad," but she kept calling him John.
Right?
Call him Dad. Warm the guy's heart.
I
Jesus.
know.
Good point,
They
Nick.
go back and forth with dad and daughter, and John and daughter.
She never calls him. She'll say, "John's my dad. He's my dad." She never called him dad. He called her his daughter. I was watching this very closely.
You know, Shaquille O'Neal had a hit in the early 90s. I don't know if you knew this. He had a rap career. Of
course.
And his first hit was, "I call Philip my father because my biological didn't bother." You guys remember that one?
You say that like a butler.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
I didn't want to come off
Yeah,
too
Jeffrey.
black.
I went back and forth on John. At first, I genuinely thought that he was possibly mentally retarded. I really did think that. I ultimately know now that John is, like you said, a wonderful father figure and a very, very good guy. He's just a very sensitive, sweet human being who's really weird. He's like a weirdo, you know? It's not often you see like grown men like that still being so fucking weird. But John, he just is a kook, and he loves Kaylin so much.
You know, because I had a horrible upbringing with no love from any male figures, I always look at these things with trepidation. I have no trust, but maybe I'm grafting my experiences onto John.
Yeah, you're like a hound that's been hit one too many times. Hand shy.
Have you seen some of these dogs that get a little gun shy like this, and they'll start walking into rooms backwards? Went down a rabbit hole the other day, but anyways, I was gonna say about John.
What a horrible rabbit hole to go down.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. You'll.
How long was the rabbit hole?
15 minutes. I watched multiple videos of them doing it, and then I
Okay.
wanted to learn about why they're doing it.
Right.
And I will say, it led me to an article on wag.com, the Uber for dog walkers.
Right, yeah.
And I just want to say, incredible SEO by Wag, having the
Right.
answer to my question, even though the article had like no information. It ended with, "We don't really know why they do it. We think it's drama."
Yeah.
Clickbait.
It's great SEO. That's how you build a website and draw traffic.
You were going to say?
I was going to say about John, I do
Yeah.
think he's coming from honest place. He did cry weird, though. He cried very weird.
Before they sit down to dinner, we get some words from a family member. I will give you guys $1,000 if you can figure out what this man is saying.
So Colton, we're going to show you guys how to fry some food. Kaylin probably can show you because she probably remembers, but if y'all don't walk over, we'll get started.
And let me tell you something. If you're listening on 2.0 times speed, no chance.
No chance. No chance.
He brings up fried food and then says I was going to walk over or something like that. But I think he's probably wasted. A lot of alcohol problems in that part of the country.
Yeah. So anyways, it's where my family's from. I know it firsthand. So they sit down to dinner, and we need to now talk about the sister, Ariana.
Is this where we're going to address the eye in the room? I mean, the elephant?
No, Patrick.
Holy shit. I didn't think you were going to come out like that.
No, Patrick. If for us to cover that would be a lazy comedy, and I don't want to go down that road. I will say she was dressed very sexy for the occasion.
Okay. Leave us 5 stars. What I was going to say is
Knee-high boots and a short skirt.
I think that they both have heavy lids. And I think that this is made much worse and much more pronounced by a very thick fake lash that kind of falls down on her eye like a pulley system. It's very off-putting.
Very a distraction, I'd call it.
Leading her to look like Forrest Whitaker.
The King of Scotland.
White Nicholas! I love that movie.
When she says that she's wary of their relationship, Kaylin looks at her like she's going to slit her fucking throat. Kaylin's nuts, and we'll get to this later. Egg on my face is not the correct term. I'm going to eat shit for this because we posted a blog this week in which I laid out exactly what was going to happen at the end of these. And you know what? We're not like shithead fucking, what's that guy's name?
Reality
Steve.
I like shithead Steve.
We don't do what shithead Reality Steve or shithead Steve does. We don't get spoilies. We try to keep this fresh and honest. And that leads to sometimes us being wrong. But I don't know how I thought Kaylin was going farther in this competition. I don't know how. I mean, it's amazing what one episode can do, but
don't be too hard on yourself. All these contestants are flawed. You could see any one of them winning or going home.
Flawed, and there's redemption. And that's what we see played out through the entire season.
So, anyways, Colton sits with the mom and tells her that he is very excited.
So, how are you feeling as far as where you are in this process?
I'm excited about the possibility of it. I hope you guys can see how happy we both are together. And that's where my excitement comes from in our relationship.
Right.
You want to break down what he just said? She asked him, what's up? Why are you into my daughter? And he said he's excited. And then he ends it by saying, and that's why he's excited. So he's excited about being excited.
Great take.
When this man talks, people, put it on mute because you're only going to get dumber. This man is very, very stupid.
It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. As excited as he is, he sits down with the mom, and this is, I don't know if it's an important note that I wanted to make, but the moms are always relegated to these very docile roles in these hometowns. They're not the ones who make the decision on whether or not the either party is ready to engage in an engagement. But I was kind of happy that she was the one grilling him because she's the fucking mom. I mean, it's her daughter. I know that John's a stepfather, but this is her daughter, and she's the one that's actually doing the, hey, I don't buy this. What's going on here?
I believe she actually said, I don't think either one of you are ready.
Yeah.
Good for you, Mom.
Good for you, Mom. Mama Bear got a Mama Bear. Kaylin and John sit down, and John asks her an insane question. That question is, why can't you guys just be friends? How's that any different from getting engaged?
I liked it. A little common sense. Just chill out after. Maybe see where it goes.
Right, but again, he's a weirdo, and he put that in such the phrasing is insane.
I kind of liked it because I don't think he's actually watched the show. And I appreciate
Clearly
that
not.
about him.
He's not Colton's dad.
Yeah,
No,
exactly. He didn't know how all the rules of the world are.
Yeah.
Now, good for you, John.
Yeah, no, I would imagine him just doing lots of drawing around the house.
Can I say, I think this was the part where he asks her and she says, why? And he says, because she said our values align and she loves him. And I think she's trying to get John to basically be nice to Colton and give into this, because that's when she gives the speech. And I almost cried during this for some reason. I have no soul.
Yeah.
She tells him he's the greatest dad.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It was very, very sweet.
Oof.
It was so sweet. They both start crying. It was a really beautiful moment.
And he just, it was touching. He ruined it with that weird cry. He just did.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to express emotions. I think that's what you're sensing from him.
John and Colton then sit down. He tells John that he's told Kaylin that he's falling in love with her.
Mm-hmm. No, he said, I am in love with you. Didn't he ask that? Was there the difference there or no?
No, he said that I've told her that I'm falling in love with her.
And she's told me.
Yes.
But he's never told her that.
I caught that. He was lying there.
Yeah, no, he
Yes.
is. Maybe he's told her off camera, but we've never seen him say, I love you to Kaylin. You don't say that to people.
He said it to someone already.
I know he did say it to somebody already, and that's a wild thing. You're usually, you can't drop the L bomb if you're in pole position.
It was falling in love, he said.
Okay.
Both times.
I don't think that he said that to her.
By the way, for the audience, get excited. I have kept records on the falling in love and the in love, the scales of those two things throughout the episode, and I will keep us all up to it.
Speaking of such tropes, last week we talked about Greatest Fear. It was pretty easy tonight, but they did drop one at 2 minutes, and then I don't think we got another Greatest Fear the rest of the episode. But real early, they hit us with one.
Yeah, of course. You got to get one in. Colton asks for permission, and John being he, says, yes, only on one occasion. You have to promise me that you're ready for marriage.
Yes.
Yeah. That's fucking airtight. That's an airtight guarantee. AAA rated, John.
Well, I will say the only way he got John to this point, Colton, is he started kissing his ass. And I don't like when people start changing their behaviors based on your ass getting kissed. He's like, you're a great dad. You're a great dad, John. Hey, Colton, you don't even know who he is.
That was a great line. You saw some weird emotions burst out of him when Colton said that again. It triggers him.
All right, go ahead. Fuck her, marry her. Go ahead. I know. I'm a great dad. I've been waiting 32 years to hear this. Or 23.
19.
After he does receive the blessing, he and Kaylin go upstairs to watch home videos from her childhood in an extremely haunted part of the house.
I was going to say a stairwell or a hallway. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like children of antebellum have hung from that ceiling. Hands down.
It was scary. Are you referring to the horror movie Annabelle, or you said Antebellum? I don't know the reference. I apologize.
Antebellum meaning a time period before the industrialization of this country, a simpler time, a time of grain, horses, and family.
Egg on my face.
Which lend its name to the great pop country band Lady Antebellum.
Yeah.
It's 1:15. I'm
Keep
all
singing,
alone and I need you right now. I had it for a little bit.
Dylan, get some auto tune on that in the edit.
How could you not have that even for a little bit?
I'm very bad.
It's 1:15. I'm all alone and I need you.
Now I know what the song is.
How can you not sing that?
I'm bad. I get very.
Christ.
I can do it in my head, and then I just get very nervous when the sounds come out.
Yeah.
Hey guys, all right. Now's the time of the show, and I track this the whole episode. I will give the scales of where they are in their relationship as far as love.
Okay.
Before they part ways, she upgrades her love scale from "I'm falling in love with you" to "I'm in love." So there's an upgrade there. So she's officially in love with Colton.
Got it.
As he departs.
Yeah, no, that's huge, and that's where we'll leave this here city and go to Birmingham, Hannah G's hometown. Pat,
Okay, are we talking about the toddler jump?
how was the leg wraparound?
It was fair. It was a half leg wraparound.
Okay,
Full jump, half leg around, did not go all the way around.
which is odd because she's clearly the favorite to win this competition somehow, but not the greatest leg wraparound. Hannah says that she's going to show him what the South is all about, which is kind of true, but she's going to show him a very specific slice of the South, that being white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, WASPs. She's going to show him how they live, and that starts with the House of Manners. Now, this woman is really, and I don't...
They should have called it the Manners Manor.
She scares me. She scares me a lot. She's clearly an insane person. I genuinely believe that she is fucking out of her mind, cuckoo for coconuts, and I think she may have numerous people downstairs in that manor. Just maybe not tightly chained to the wall. Maybe they have a little wiggle room, but there are fucking people down there.
I had the same note, Dylan, but it didn't go that far. I said she probably has two sons that are out of state, raised by two different fathers that don't talk to her on Christmas.
She has driven everyone who has ever loved her away because of her fucking chemical imbalance that has probably led her to picking up a knife numerous times in many disputes. Not very polite, I might add. So anyways, do you want to...
I'll save this. I'll save this.
Anyways, let's get to the lessons for the day. He first walks with a book on his head. He walks like an idiot. Yet in her eyes, it is a perfect, confident gait. Can you imagine somebody walking down the street at you the way that Colton walked with that book on his head? He looked like a reanimated zombie.
Steven Seagal, well known. He looks like an amazing martial artist. I think it's a Krav Maga, whatever that his martial arts technique, whatever. They said in films they had to cut a stunt double of him running because he looked as ridiculous as Colton does walking down the street with this book on his head.
Where'd you find that little tidbit out?
I think they did there was a version of Behind the Music where they were like, it was meant to like make the artist look good, but it really it made them look really bad.
Right.
And it was about Steven Seagal.
You big fan of Seagal?
No, he's a total douchebag.
Okay, so let's move on to the bread. Now, the way she claims you're supposed to eat the bread is insane, and it's wrong, and it's bad information. Because again, if you did this in public at a dinner with, be it professionals, family, or friends, you would be either judged, labeled an insane person, or ridiculed. No one eats bread like this. No one does.
It's a crazy person explaining to you how to do something like everyone should know it.
Right.
I think you're right about her having...
Kids, or just people in the dungeon.
Just being an insane person in general. Like, these are not good etiquette rules. These are complete signs of OCD. Yeah. I'm going to walk across this room with a book on top of my head, right, and then I'm going to eat one piece of bread at a time. And you have to butter everyone. You have to butter everyone, and then you count, and then you count.
Yeah. Can you imagine that ritual before you're going to go out shopping or go on a date? You have to put a book on your head and walk from one end of the room to the other several times, and then pick a piece of bread out of the fridge, butter it, and make sure it's the proper amount of butter on it, and then hand it to a person before you can even leave your house. I mean, that's some serious OCD.
Yeah. And then for our last lesson in etiquette, right before we go to bed, we're going to turn on and off all the light switches 30 times a piece. That's good etiquette.
And ignore the cries from beneath the floorboards. So...
Hey, I have some thoughts on this.
Yeah.
This whole thing. I don't remember. Maybe I'm stupid or something. But we're at hometowns. When did it turn into the Bachelor still needs to prove himself through, like, not to get my head of myself, but some trust exercises with the skydiving later in the episode, this new etiquette. Hey, sweetie, I'd turn to this nutball whose kids left her, has dead people under the floor, and go, hey, I'm the Bachelor. Don't get it fucking twisted, okay?
Oh.
I don't need to do anything here. And then I'd stare at Mike twice and I go, good day, sir. I'll see you at her house. She's going to pick, she's going to decide.
Wow.
I could agree more. I was like, I would be so uncomfortable in this situation. Why are you being forced to do this? Hey, we're already in your hometown. You want to stay here and I'll keep trucking, sister?
Nice. Hot take. Hot take real time too. Right off the presses.
Yeah.
All right, so I've said that Colton is so bad as a Bachelor and has nothing to say.
Right.
And they have to cut around this shit. That's what they're doing here. They need to put more meat on this bone for the hometowns, so that we got to do the day date with some kind of ridiculous exercise that he doesn't have to talk. Yes!
No, I think that they've always done like these little silly, intro dates before they go to the house. It happened with Rachel, I distinctly remember, B-Ball with his best buddy and wingman. And with Jason, they did the strange, Wiccan tour thing. Do you remember that?
Basketball is not the same thing as going to class.
Yeah, well, I mean, this Hannah sucks. This is her world. I mean, this is something that they've consulted with her about. And again...
And I guess
she's a wasp. She's a fucking wasp.
Who
are scientifically and clinically the most boring people on planet Earth.
And to your point, I guess in Eric's case, they were teaching Rachel the rules of the street.
Yeah.
Want to meet the family?
No, I want to talk about the umbrella.
Ella, hey.
Colton says, when asked what an umbrella is for, his response is to protect you from things falling on your head. Now, sure, it would protect you from rain, maybe some snow, maybe even heat. Anything that weighed a little bit more than that, I think you'd be in some pretty serious trouble. I don't think an umbrella as a metaphor for a shield of protection around your marriage is a very good metaphor. I don't think that it bodes well for them.
And to your point, she used it wrong. Like she was like, they're the umbrella, but then she was like, they're holding the umbrella over here. So in this woman's analogy, the parents are the parents. They're just holding an umbrella. And now Colton will be holding the umbrella. Yeah, she's batshit.
Okay, let's go off to the house. Who do we have here, guys? Pat?
Well, hold on. And I know this is not going to go over well.
Yeah, I got some rough ones too.
Let me just say this. First off, these are just my thoughts and my thoughts alone, and are not reflective of my co-hosts. Okay?
Except me. I'm probably right there
Not a family of lookers.
with you. Any follow-up to that? Or
Oh, well, yeah. I was that's
Okay, let's get there.
That's my prologue.
Nick.
We're gonna get there, or should I take a shot real quick?
Let's get there. Because we meet Beth first, and I had written down that Beth looks like a librarian who eats the books when no one's watching. What do you guys have?
She looks like every goddamn office worker that has been sitting in a cubicle for 32 years behind some of those cardboard boxes that I would just walk by and go, ain't gonna be her. So sad.
Ain't gonna be her.
Nope.
In what arena?
You can see the dust collected on her.
Well, okay. But yeah, you have a good point. She's Phyllis.
Yeah, I wish I could take this as my own, but I saw it online. Someone tweeted it at Dashel. Check it out. He tweets some good Bachelor stuff. But she looks like she wants to see the manager.
Exactly.
That's very funny.
And by the way, gentlemen, by the way, this has to be a two-way street. Whenever you say to your buddy, hey, how's the mom look? And she's like, she's beautiful. Good for you. Good for you. We have to take it the same way. Sometimes when it doesn't go the right way, Colton, get the fuck out of there, dude. Get the fuck out of there. Jesus Christ.
No.
If it's not her mother, her sister looks like an overweight Lego figure.
Okay. Fuck.
Sorry.
Let's move on to the sit down with the girls. She sits down with them and has a quick chat. I can't help but get the feeling that she feels like she's above them. And that's wrong that she feels that way, but understandable because,
she's much, much better looking than
well, I mean, one of them looks like a koala fucked Paula Deen, and the others,
Man, did I learn a lot about koalas today, but I'm not going to get into it right now.
side by side, a koala and Paula Deen, and then put this girl's picture up. This Hillary Clinton haircut. Where is this person? What era is this person from? Like, no one is looking out for this girl at all. No one.
Your friends have to tell you that.
Yes, and your hairstylist is fucking with you, or she's 78 years old. Oh, this is what the kids look like.
It is funny that even though Hannah came from the same loins, she is so much better looking. Like, there's two ways you can become good, and she's not even. I don't think.
No, she's a shrunken head.
But like a lot of people are comparing to Barbie, say she looks like Disney princess. People love her look.
Yeah,
Not for me. But it's funny how people can become good looking two ways. You either have really good genes to good looking people, and they make a good-looking person.
Yeah.
Or somehow two ugly people, the way their genes just ended up together,
Right. It's true. I've seen
snake
that.
eyes, you got a good-looking
Yeah,
kid.
I've seen that. I have seen that before. It's crazy how that works out. But I do, just getting back to Hannah's face. See, I was watching with my darling wife, Celia, who said that Hannah looks like if you pushed in a Barbie doll's face and then said, like I used to do all the time. And I said, what? And she said, I used to play with Barbies and push their faces in. And I said, that's nuts.
Doesn't give you a lot of confidence to bear children with this woman.
No, I've been losing sleep over it.
Not when her mother looks like a man wearing a fat suit that looks like he crochets.
How is she with that cat, Dylan? How's she with that cat?
She hurts it sometimes. But
Yeah.
she loves it.
Red flag.
Okay, so let's move on to the ask for a blessing. This is when I realized that Colton is doing this very flippantly. He acts like he's going through the motions, and like fucking act like you care. You're robbing these fathers of a very important moment in their life.
Obviously, this is not Colton's work here. This is producers, and they hand him a folder and say, you need the checklist, and they need to come back all with checks in the boxes before you leave here. I'm not saying Colton's a good person. I think he's kind of an idiot. But I don't think Colton, if he wasn't prodded that you need to do this for good TV, would he do this? I know that's a weird angle, but I agree with you, Dylan. It's wrong. These dads are genuine, and I love how the last two hometowns, the way they go.
Yes, it's a little more tension. Fathers are a little bit more reluctant to give up said blessing. But Hannah's father is fine. He gives it up, and box checked. Do we have anything else in Alabama?
Yeah, dude. Before Colton goes on to date number 3, I have a update on the love scale.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Okay, so they kiss outside. Both are on the lower level of the love scale. They're still at falling in love. They're not in love at this point. So both are still falling.
Got it.
I'd be very concerned if I were her at this point.
All right, let's head to beautiful Orange County, California, Tayshia's hometown. They meet in an open field. Pat, how was the leg wraparound?
Okay, all right, hold on.
I didn't like how they made Orange County they tried to make Orange County look quaint. Kind of how it's not quaint. It's rich and white. I don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing quaint about it. It's if you plopped Birmingham out of Alabama and just put it in California, that's where it'd be.
Is that Birmingham's like
waspy and racist?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so you remove the accent. Yeah, I grew up on Laguna Beach, all right? I know what the OC's really like.
Yeah. Well, although Laguna Beach isn't the OC, is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Because they, even in their like intro, I think they said we're the real OC, because it was on the heels of
the OC. Yeah.
Dylan,
much say, Pat?
Dylan, I'm glad you asked. She gets a running jump, a full leg wraparound. That's a full leg round. It's one of the best of the night, I'd say. 10 out of 10.
Now, I am, this is where I'm going to eat shit. I said that there's no way that Tayshia was making it past this episode. But what I forgot to, what I didn't see was that Tayshia has had accidental advantages land in her lap throughout this season. Accidents and clumsiness have been very, very good for her. She has chocolate on her butt, getting ahead of myself, but when she puts him in the car and he bangs his head on the side. Now, these acts, these silly acts, are things that can bond people very, very quickly. You can both communally laugh over these things, and they do break the ice and make you seem like you're more friendly with one another than you actually are. Huge for Tayshia.
All that happenstance, in addition with what I think is very intentional, all the fear she is exciting in Colton, is just the recipe for what you think is love, but is really just your emotions running wild.
Number 2 Major advantage for Tayshia. I've got it written down right here. Something baked into a lot of their interactions. Fear. Nature's most powerful aphrodisiac. But let's get to it.
Any other Bachelor, Tayshia and Colton be having a fuck fest already.
Yeah, totally. So it is revealed that they are going to go skydiving. But before that, she has to blindfold him, let America know that this is not the Bird Box Challenge, and then she gets him in a Jeep.
Let's not skim past that Bird Box line. Everything didn't add up to me for this, the way they cut away. It sounded weird the way she said it. I did a little digging. This date was filmed on October 31st on Halloween.
Wow.
Bird Box did not, obviously, it came out Christmas.
Yeah, December 24th or something.
It came out Christmas. That's when it became the biggest thing. They had Tayshia read a line and put it in there to implement the zeitgeist.
Wow.
Once I looked it up, there are
great fucking digging, man.
I saw it right away.
Who's your source, Nick?
Some Instagram account, but
That's probably true.
yeah, that sounds right? I mean, they had these filmed already.
Yeah.
You're
not going to it. You're not going to the source right now because that would be so dumb to do because we don't need that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Well, to be fair, I am
good.
the investigative reporter here.
Well, I think
site.
he beat you at your own game there, but let's get to the date.
I will. It's at Bachelor-ish,
Okay.
and it was a screenshot from I don't know when.
Okay. So this is helpful.
And then I tried to DM this account and ask like where they got this screenshot, and they didn't respond. So fuck Bachelor-ish. I wish I would have said their name in the beginning. You were right, Dylan.
Anyways, they get in this Jeep and they start driving. And we had a really rough conversation with Kaylin and Colton. The conversation that Tayshia and him have inside this car is cringeworthy. Him fake yelling, if our relationship is built on trust, why won't you tell me where we're going? And then says, is this our first fight? And it's just this very gross, fake interaction that they have with one another. I'm stuck in two camps. I don't know if these two I don't know what's going to happen with these two. It seems like he didn't like her, and then they have great dates, but they also stink and don't talk to one another. What's going on?
Well, Dylan, this whole show, and I think this is why all the ladies enjoy watching it, is the premise of this show is, to fall in love, but really what they grab at is the core of two people of that first 3 weeks of just not knowing the other person and what could be and how fucking hot that is. So the more they don't know each other, the better. Because once you wake up the next morning and smell her breath or something, you're like, Jesus, fucking probably dump her tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
I thought that line of Colton, is this our first fight? I've said that like when I've met a girl, like we're just chat, like, is this our first fight? That seemed like a straight guy line from Colton. Not buying it though.
You say?
I have. It's not like I don't like say like I'm going to do this every time, but it's come out of my mouth.
Okay.
It's fun. It's banter.
They get to the airfield, and I was thinking that this is first, did you guys see that sign?
No diving.
Wild sign. Caution, propellers rip heads off.
Did you ever see Indiana Jones, dude?
I've seen Indiana Jones, but yeah, still, nonetheless, in real life, it is pretty insane that they have a sign that says caution, propellers rip heads off. I was thinking that this was going to be a horrible date because Colton is such a massive pussy who is so terrified that he cannot have he can't have a conversation with her when they're going up. He's just staring at metal like he's about to land on Normandy. There's no interaction between them whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, as the door opens, a light switches and he starts blowing back kisses to her. Numerous kisses. Looked like an absolute idiot.
And after he blows those kisses, which was a pretty baller move, I thought. I don't know. I mean, like you said, he couldn't even function before, and then he blows kisses. At least you're thinking about the lady before you jump. Then he ruins it by jumping out and sounding like...
Yeah.
Give me a good analogy here. I'm drawing a blank, but wow, that... how could you respect a man and like look him in the eye after that? It's like when I made those noises on the zipper in front of Amy Fitzpatrick in 7th grade.
I was thinking that, I don't know how sound works up there, but I'm imagining that it's very, very loud. I think that she heard that, and it must be really tough to hear like screams from up there. But
that's why they call them piercing screams.
Yeah, it was fucking piercing. And again, he did it when he was bungee jumping. Watch these episodes, Colton, and adjust that fucking response, because you can learn how to scream, and you have to do better with that because it's truly pathetic. They land, and fear has played its part. They had not said anything to one another, yet they hit the ground and embrace in a very passionate, very romantic kiss. And that is, as you've talked about many times, the power of fear. It really brings people together. Mm-hmm. So they go to meet the family. Pat, who do we have here?
I don't know how to say the brother's name. Is it Desmond or Desime?
Desime.
Desime, Rosario, and young brother Bryce. No? Am I?
Young brother, yeah.
It's Desmond and Desmond Jr.
It's Desmond and Desmond Jr.?
Yeah, the dad's Desmond and...
Yeah.
Oh,
There's nobody
and then,
there's no Destiny's Child rejects in the family.
I was thinking, Desime, true la la.
Don't know what that is.
Tresemme shampoo
So
commercial.
we've been building to this tough dad that Tayshia has, and the second I see him, I'm like, oh, okay, this guy is gonna fucking grill Colton. More lies from ABC and the Mouse.
I was expecting an African American Jocko Willink, and I got this guy.
With that being said, this was just a roller coaster I was on all night. He was pretty fucking tough on him.
Well, it all started. They got off on the wrong foot. Did you catch this one? Colton walks in the house. He's not a good opener, by the way. On the last date, he did a toast that was misguided. Here he walks in, meets dad, and dad's like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "Well, let me tell you something. After today, nothing's gonna scare me, man." And he's like, "Really, motherfucker?"
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
Yep, I did catch that, and I think it came from a good place. Like,
I'm paraphrasing, by the way.
well, she tried to help Colton. Like, hey, you don't say it like that. What you meant to say was, I'd rather be meeting your family than jumping out of a plane right now.
Right.
Colton's like, I know what I said.
Yeah.
I don't fear you, old man.
Well,
I'll break your fucking hip.
the old man, he does have to face down. He and the dad go outside, and it's at this point where I'm a huge fan of this guy. Only later do I realize that he is a weak coward of a man with a bad picker, just like his daughter. But he has great questions.
Go ahead, hit me with the questions. I'll tell you what Colton said.
How can you fall in love with my daughter?
I'm sorry. I was trying to fight it.
How can you fall in love with my daughter if you were in love with 3 other women?
How can I be in love with other broads while I'm in love with your daughter?
Oh.
God, this premise I put forth, I can't handle. I'm not up to the...
I was excited for a little role play between you two.
I thought I had the questions, and I'm a moron. I'll say this. This was definitely a deposition, and it was done very well. He sliced and diced them.
Yeah.
I don't think Colton held up.
Yeah, no, Colton doesn't have a shot against this guy.
Colton pretty much answered the questions truthfully, which turns out those are the wrong answers. Yeah, I say the same thing to all 4 of them. No problem. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do.
I don't take engagement lightly, I believe he said.
Again, very, very flippantly. He's just like, so I'd like your blessing because I'm not going to talk to you for a while. So, yes, or it's going to be no. Just let me know because...
Can I have your blessing, sir?
Yeah, I'd like to get back in the house and drink some wine. It's a little chilly out here. At the end, he says, have respect for my daughter. Do not lead her or any of the girls on. Stand-up guy. Now...
I don't think this has ever been done in Bachelor history. The dads are getting a little harder on these fools walking through just thinking like, hey, we're on TV. Come on, play the game. And, these dads, especially the last 2, again, they're not putting up with it.
My favorite dad was, I can't remember whose dad it was, but he was the terrifying, like, Afghani guy or, like, the Russian dude who...
This kind of narrows it down, doesn't it?
Well, it's a region. It's a region.
I mean, the possible contestants,
Oh, yeah. Oh, got it. But yeah, he was like a James Bond villain. He was not happy with what was going on. But Baby Birds, help us out. Who the fuck was that?
I'm excited for, and it's coming soon. One of these dads is going to be like too savvy and into social media, and he's going to have his own Instagram the second he gets screen time and like doing fucking skits and shit.
Yeah.
You mark my words.
John.
You mark my words.
It's going to be John. So Colton
he's missed his boat already.
Colton
it aired
is
Monday.
not sure how to handle this. He's beside himself. Pat?
It's disappointing to not get his blessing. I did not expect for the night to go like this. Family is the most important thing to me. And I mean, I'm not marrying her father, but I am going to have his permission, so I have no clue what I'm going to do.
You know what I don't like about this clip, and he's been saying it all night? I'm asking for permission. No, ask for the blessing.
Yes.
Like, if they say no, be damned. We'll be the Capulets and the Montagues. I don't give a shit. I'm going to marry my bride.
Yeah.
But I would prefer if you guys agree.
And then in your brain, Colton, which you don't have because it's a dinosaur brain, go, hey, I got an idea. If I do decide to pick Tayshia, on the limo ride over, after she gets her hair being did, then pick up the phone and go, hey, Dad, that might be a great moment in the show. Hey, I want to ask.
Hair being did?
Yeah. Like what the girls spend on the show, one of the tropes is they're getting all made up before they show up to the final rose.
Okay.
And so when he's deciding to pick her, he picks up the phone and asks for the permission and says, I'm picking your daughter. I'm totally in love with her.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's beautiful. And I think it was very hip of him to say getting your hair did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're grafting race onto everything.
Well, I thought that, not everything. When he goes, can I get a yes? I assume that he's doing a black church. And when he says, Tayshia's getting her hair did, I think, forgive me, that could have some connotation with race. But anyways, it didn't in the end. Let's talk about the brother.
He's a fat dude.
I liked him. Soft face, smart kid, creepy poise. He's going to be a good FBI agent.
Yeah. And I'd have to say this. I like a guy that is big and could beat the shit out of Colton and intimidate him and like make for good TV. He's just chill. Like, hey, asking him questions, having a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I like that. He's being real. I like her family.
All jokes aside, yes, this is a great family. And I think that this is maybe what sways Colton to her, because I don't see how you could look at this family any other way. They're solid as a rock, really good parents. Clearly, they have smart children.
The lovely Rosario, great mother.
The lovely Rosario. But then the most disappointing thing, just the most disappointing thing. He sits down with his daughter and asks her if she got proposed to, what would she say? And when she says yes, he delivers a great line. You cannot microwave a relationship. Mm-hmm. But, ultimately does say that he trusts her, and if she's happy, then he gives them his blessing. My question is, why the fuck would you trust Tayshia? She got divorced and then went on The Bachelor. Why the fuck would you trust her gut?
You know, everything that we just said the last 2 minutes of this show about it being a great family. Hey, you raised a daughter who married a guy that she was married to for a year and then decided to sign up for a reality TV show. All these things as a father, I'd say I did a horrible job.
Brutal.
She's going to have a worse marriage history than Ross Geller. Friends.
Hey, that line I've never heard before. That
you can't
delivers.
Microwave a relationship.
I love it.
Love it.
Now, can I analyze it? By that, he means speeding up the process of cooking something like frozen food so you can eat something that tastes good when you're drunk and your judgment is off, and then you'll have diarrhea the next day. But at the moment, the instant gratification trumps everything. That's what microwaving a relationship means.
Bravo, sir.
Fun little anecdote from my life regarding microwave.
Yeah.
So
you used to stand in front of them?
Huh? No. Well, I did. But anyways, in high school, I was on the basketball team, but I was a bench warmer. And so I only got in, 40-40 club. You're up by 40, down by 40, except not, it could be closer than that. But I would get in at the end of the game, but I would get shots up really fast. And I I did pretty well when I got in there. I tore it up, and so they said I heated up in a hurry. I was the microwave, and on one game, everybody they had a bunch of T-shirts in the crowd. Everybody made Nick the Microwave Davis T-shirts, and I really hated being that bench warmer role, to be honest. And I always got a huge ovation when I would come in at the end of the game.
But it did stroke your ego tremendously.
But the T-shirts was pretty good. I always felt like that autistic kid who got popular because he went into the end of the game and he made 6 3-pointers. He's like, I was hot as a pistol. I think his name was like Jason McEwen. He got real hot. He was like viral before viral.
Yeah, that's a lot like this girl Annie, who I used to go to high school with, who was voted prom queen when I was a senior, and it was a horrific hive mind bullying because Annie was a young lady who walked with a brace and crutches at all times because her knee would constantly dislocate. She had brittle bones and was nice enough, but God, kids are horrible.
Great time to plug our Instagram at Another Bachelor Podcast, because I'm going to post a picture of me with all the people with the Nick the Microwave Davis T-shirts, and Dylan is going to post a picture of Annie.
No, I'm not going to.
Hey, can I give my microwave story?
Yes.
When I was in the 8th grade, I didn't have a lot of friends, and my buddy of mine, Sully, said, hey, it's my birthday, and you're invited, and everyone's coming over, and I didn't know a lot of the kids, and one of them was named Sean Moore, and he found a bug outside, and he ran in and said, watch me do this, and he put the bug in the microwave, and he hit 30 seconds. And I fought him to the death to try and open that door.
You killed him?
No, I tried to grab the door to open the microwave because I was worried about the grasshopper.
Yeah.
And just in the last moment, the grasshopper exploded in the microwave. Very sad. 2 years ago, I said, hey, Mike, whatever happened with Sean Moore, the guy who killed the grasshopper? He said, he's doing 20 years to life for stabbing his wife in a shower.
Way to fight the good fight. But the saddest part of that story was the preamble.
Yeah.
I have no friends.
Right. Yeah, no, that guy's a huge fan of classic cinema, though. All right, so let's wrap this up. Egg on my face again. She's going to be in the final 2. She's going to be in the final 2, right? I mean, she's going to be the person that loses to Hannah.
Probably.
No way Cassie makes it over her. Like, this date is way too good. They spent so much time at Tayshia's house. I don't know. Just conjecture, but the kisses at the end, he won't stop kissing her.
I thought that was him doing a little bit of, what do you call it, where you're overdoing it because you
overcompensating.
Overcompensating, yeah.
I think Tayshia goes home next week.
Well, looks like we're a house divided. All right, let's go to Huntington Beach.
Just a little north.
A land filled with chill bars to watch the Kings. They go surfing.
Oh, hold on, dude.
Oh, yeah,
don't
full
you want
leg.
the time?
Yes, I do want to know.
It's a jump, not a full leg wraparound.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't have more athletic ability. He looks like an absolute moron on the surfboard. I know surfing's hard, but I mean, have a little bit of fucking balance.
It's probably that sense of balance that, like, even though he fit all, he could lift, he was fast in a straight line. Yeah. But it's that balance that probably kept him out of the NFL.
That's true. Yeah. His ears are wonky.
Well, but let me give you my overview of the family.
Yeah.
I made this up. The audience is going to love this. This is basic Orange County. It's the 4 Bs. Basic, bleach, blonde, bitch. That's what this house is filled with. 5 stars, everyone. 5 stars.
Got it. So the dad is not happy with how handsy Colton and Cassie are. And I got to say, I completely agree with him. I mean, they've been dating for 6 weeks, and he knows that the guy is with 3 other women. And he walks into the house with his hands all over his daughter.
Have some respect, dude, especially in a religious house.
Right.
Who are you, Jared Hybon with Ashley Iaconetti?
Whoa, you know his last name?
I see it on social media. I probably pronounced it wrong.
Yeah, I just, in summation, I would not be okay with some blue-eyed fat ass with his hands all over my daughter. So, Nick, thoughts on the sister? I know you have a lot of thoughts on Cassie's sister.
Just that she's the breakout star of the episode, clearly. Yeah. She did a little digging. Michelle Randolph has 146,000 followers on Instagram already. Probably close to what Cassie has, to be honest. And she was she was going to Oscar parties, possibly even the actual Oscars red carpet, on the arm of some guy he's some Disney star with 4.2 million followers.
Don't get jealous.
I'm just shocked at like. I have a feeling some strings were pulled to get Cassie on the show. To be honest. Small circles.
Just tossing a hot take out there like that, not backing it up. I hope you do some digging so we can broach that topic.
I won't. That seems like a very loose theory.
Great.
Well, guys, we know a little bit about how they do the casting for these shows. They'll pick certain areas and just mine them.
Right. And also Cassie was on a Christian reality television show
Right.
akin to Laguna Beach, but with a fat best friend. So anyways, Cassie talks with her father, who is just like Tayshia's dad, except not like Tayshia's dad. A very good dude. He breaks down the insanity of this process very, very clearly, and he just seems very loving and doing his best to prevent her from making a massive mistake. Pat?
With Cassie, I trust her completely, but I think you need more than a couple random dates in order to fall in love with someone.
Well done, Dad. Well done. I mean, you still let her, you raised a daughter who strives to be on reality TV and another daughter who is an Instagram model. But other than that, it looks like you've done a pretty good job.
So Colton sits down with Pops and asks for his blessing. And thank fucking God, the dad says no.
A lifelong commitment that's big.
Yeah.
And shouldn't be taken at all lightly.
No.
Because it is forever, in my opinion. And too often it's, I think, done without enough thought. So I feel like as far as the hand in marriage, that would be a premature blessing. So is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a no, Colton. That's a big fat no. You big fatty. Get out of here.
Yeah, I love that both her and her dad are like, I mean, she's clearly, gone astray a little bit because she's been on too many reality television shows for a 23-year-old. But Colton's fishing an I love you out from her at the end of this episode, and she just does not give it to him. And I love Cassie for that. She's sitting there and she's saying, I want this to continue. I like you, but I don't know you, so I'm not going to say I'm falling in love with you.
And thus how they set the ending of this hometown, which is, yes, he leaves with 2 no's. I'm still falling in love with you. I'm not in love with you. And Dad is not giving the blessing.
She didn't even say falling in love. She wouldn't even go that far.
Yeah.
She gave no indication except she said, I don't want this to be the end.
Right. That's all she said, which is honest. And I love that he says, I have no idea what she's thinking. What are you talking about, you idiot? You've been making out with one another. You've been spending lots of quality time. Sorry, she has not said, I'm falling in love with you. You should know how she's feeling, you idiot.
Yeah, she will clearly just do whatever it takes to rise to the top and win this competition, you idiot.
You know exactly what she thinks she needs to get to at least the next episode so that she can be in contention for the Bachelorette. Idiot. That's what she's thinking.
And eventually have 1 million Instagram followers.
Idiot. Rose ceremony. Pat, we need a roll call. Who goes home?
Roll call. Hit the music. Kaylin goes home. She goes home.
Something in your throat.
No, it's fine.
I thought it was fine.
I know the audience is not going to approve of me saying this, but I have to say this because I've been watching this show for 20 years now. This is the hottest Final Four at a rose ceremony that has ever been gathered. These chicks are super hot. Well done. Colton has picked the 4 hottest chicks ever.
That's not it.
And do you remember when we talked a couple episodes about you working on your use of the word chicks and how misogynistic it is to a lot of ears listening?
Right.
So just want to keep that out. I just want to put that out there again and just say, I know it's a tough process, but just keep working at it.
It's just people throwing around the word misogyny. Chick, that means you have like a disdain for women. Chicks has no ill will. He loves chicks.
Nick, it is endearing, but I want to learn. I want to be better.
Right.
I want to be better.
I'm progressive as the next guy. Everybody knows this. I just said I wanted him to say blessing and blessing and not permission.
So where does this leave us with Kaylin? Because I I don't think that she's going to amount to too much in this world specifically. She may be on Paradise, but I don't think that she's going to be the Bachelorette. I don't think that America saw enough of her personality. I think it's going to be Cassie or, dare I say, Tayshia.
Well, I agree with you, Dill. However, that doesn't change what took place in that SUV as it drove off. While the tears were coming down, she was then making her case or her great performance to be the Bachelorette, right? Mm-hmm.
So that is the end of this episode. We get a crazy look next week at a special 2-day event. Looks very intense. A super hilarious part of the package, I thought, was when he says that he wants the fantasy suites to be the best thing that the girls have ever felt. Colton, you're going to be so far away from the top performers. I mean, it's just crazy how little they're going to feel that night. Any other thoughts on the package for next week?
I don't like how I have to watch 2 days of television, but I'll do it for our audience because that's what I stepped into.
That's what we do. Mm-hmm. Lastly, we've got to get to one of the most racially insensitive and nauseating forms of cultural appropriation that I've ever bared witness to. Hannah rapping at the end of this.
Oh, right.
Hannah rapping at the. Did you see this?
Yeah, they cut back to some footage from the dinner table.
Yeah. Now, certain people can pull this off and it's like cute and funny. This was not that. This was just embarrassing and off-putting. It was just fucking awkward.
The thing I didn't like about it was that I know that she's done this with 3 other guys at the dinner table. The old man, the dad, does the beatbox like.
Okay. Right.
Go ahead, rap.
Okay. Oh, no, I'm not going to. Hey,
I'm not rapping to that whack ass
do
beat.
me a favor and stop doing the beat. You already did it. So that's the end of the episode. Guys, remember to leave us 5 stars if you can. Hop in the iTunes ratings and reviews. Let us know how you like the show. I would be remiss if we didn't get to... Holy shit, I almost missed it again. We've got a fan favorite segment. Errors and omissions to get to. So, Nick, break this segment down. It's a little heady.
I would love to explain this segment to everyone. Yeah. It's really complicated, so I have to get into it every week. Right. A to B. How do we cook up this segment? Yep. But I don't have time to get into it tonight. Yeah. Actually, little behind the curtain.
Yeah,
Patrick trying to impregnate his wife using the powers of science.
Yeah,
and
what happens when you get older?
There's some specific things. Shots are involved. Very specific time. We have to wrap this show up. Yeah. So once again, and I cannot apologize enough. It hurt. I'm feeling physical pain that we're not doing errors and omissions this week. I am too. And but we do have to push it just one more week. But I'm telling you guys, I have a tally, and it's going to be fun. I'm even going to get a running thread in the Facebook group, just so we don't forget everything. Yeah. We can see all the errors and omissions for the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Right. Now, it does hurt my heart as well, but I promise you guys, next episode, we will get to errors and omissions. But that is going to be it for us tonight. We may have some guests next week. Who knows? But we'll get there. We'll see you guys next week with 2 episodes of Another Bachelor Podcast. Until then, join us on Facebook at
Another Bachelor Podcast.
And on Instagram.
Another Bachelor Podcast. You guys get it. Patrick has to impregnate his wife. I don't have time to explain the URL. Do you know how long it would take me to just say the entire URL?
It would take a really long time.
Time is of the essence. He literally has to put these shots in her belly before 10 p.m. I cannot go into it.
Yeah, okay. I understand. All right, that's it. Me saying goodbye. Dylan, goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat,
goodbye.